Greetings, everyone. This is Sherry Teefey. I'm a professor of radiology at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. I've been on staff for many, many years, in fact, almost 30 years. And beforehand, I was at the University of Washington in Seattle. I'd like to take a few moments just to share some experiences and perhaps float some new ideas. I found my ability to do research and to collaborate with clinical colleagues in particular is most important in enhancing your career. The clinical colleagues I work with here, as well as my radiology colleagues, makes for very fruitful research. We're not only looking at things from the perspective of radiology, but also from the perspective of the clinicians and asking clinically relevant questions. The work can be either retrospective or prospective, but I encourage all of you, when you first go on staff at an academic institution, to give yourself a little bit of time to figure out where your interests lie. And as you get to know your clinical and radiology colleagues, begin to propose some ideas for research. We recently set up a research meeting between our colleagues in radiology and endocrinology, and set aside an hour to have fruitful discussions. So it's very rewarding in the end, and I highly encourage you to think about approaching research from this perspective. I'd also like to say that while your life and your career in radiology is ever so important, you've developed skills in medical school and radiology that you can extend to other areas of need. 6 years ago, I began working for a microfinancing organization that's St. Louis based, and I've been able to develop a project called the Safe Birth Project, where in one of the countries in Africa, specifically Uganda, I've been able to address the problem of obstetric fistula and the high mortality rate by working with village health centers that have midwives and training them to do basic obstetric ultrasound. We have a very strong ground team, which is critical for these projects to be successful, but we've seen progress. We've seen an increase in the number of mothers coming in for antenatal visits, and we've seen an increase in the number of microfinancing programs flourish in other countries where we also work. So you have a skill set that can definitely be used in other settings around the world, and I would encourage you, if you have an interest, to reach out to different organizations. I must admit, I have certainly been busy, but to me, being busy is one of the fun benefits of having knowledge to be able to share it with others where there are where there's great need in other areas around the world. Something to think about, my experience and work with my microfinancing organization and my work with the Safe Birth Project in Uganda has clearly changed my life and changed it for the better. In many ways, my work at the hospital and my work overseas just enhance each other and work off each other. So just a few thoughts as you begin your careers and develop your research interest, to perhaps think about giving to others who have a very great need, even for just the very basics in life. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the AAWR for the opportunity to talk with other young researchers and women clinicians, and I hope this is of benefit. Thank you so much for the time.